Obergefell sued Ohio to make the state recognize his marriage in Maryland in 2013, but Ohio would not recognize the marriage, so his lawyer argued his case before the Supreme Court.
The first step in this case was it went to the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of Ohio. The case was assigned to Judge Timothy Black. He temporarily restrained Ohio Registrar from accepting any death certificates unless it recorded the deceased's status at death as married and his partner as surviving spouse. On December 18th, it went to oral argument. Because Arthur died, the state defendants tried to dismiss the case, but Judge Black denied the motion to dismiss. Black held that Ohio's refusal to recognize same-sex marriage violated due process and equal protection rights of the parties. The defendant, Winslow, appealed to the Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals and filed his appellant brief. Winslow stepped down as director and was replaced by Hodges in August 2014. Obergefell filed the appellate brief, and amicus curiae briefs were filed to support each side. Oral arguments took place on August 6th. On November 6th, the Court of Appeals reversed the decision. On November 14th, Obergefell filed a petition for a writ of certiorari with the U.S. Supreme Court. The Supreme Court granted the certiorari and agreed to hear the case. On June 26, 2015, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled in a landmark decision that the 14th Amendment requires all states to license marriages between same-sex couples and to recognize all marriages that were lawfully performed out of state.
Hi, this is Lillian, your host on Government Gossip. Today I have with me an expert on the Obergefell v. Hodges case. Please welcome Emma Lemke.
It's a pleasure to be on the show.
Well, thank you for being here. Our first question for you today is what parties were involved in this case?
Well, there was James Obergefell, and he was the petitioner. He wanted the state to recognize him as the widower of his late partner, John Arthur. And there was also Richard Hodges. He was the director of the Ohio Department of Health, and he was the respondent for the case.
Oh, thank you for clarifying. Okay, my next question for you is what precedent will this have on future cases?
Well, the Supreme Court brought in the decisions to justify other forms of marriage, such as polygamy. And it also held that the marriage bans at issue not only violated the Due Process Clause, but also the Equal Protection Clause.
Oh, that is big news. My last question for you is what effect will this case have on the future?
Well, this ended, at least at the legal level, a national controversy and debate that had drawn attention as few others in recent memory. And all previous lawful same-sex marriages are now recognized in all states.
Oh, wow, that is interesting. Well, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Stay tuned tomorrow, though, because we'll have more government gossip. This is Lillian signing off.